If it's Monday, it's Beyond Babbitt. And this is your host, Brian Anthony. And we have a few things to talk about today. First off, Stockholm Syndrome. How many know what the Stockholm Syndrome is? Well, let me define it for you. And this is from Encyclopedia Britannica. It says last updated 4/27/18, not that long ago. Stockholm Syndrome, psychological response wherein a captive begins to identify closely with his or her captors, as well as with their agenda and demands. The name of the syndrome is derived from a botched bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden in August 1973. Four employees of Sveges Credit Bank were held hostage in the bank's vault for 6 days. During the standoff, a seemingly incongruous bond developed between captive and captor. One hostage, during the telephone call with Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme, stated that she fully trusted her captors but feared that she would die in a police assault on the building. Okay, so let me just break that down. Learned helplessness, Stockholm syndrome. These people were taken captive, and they sided with the people who took them captive. Like it's not your fault. I understand. And they went against the people who were supposed to come in and help them. Learned helplessness, Stockholm syndrome. I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. Hegelian dialectic. What's the difference between Stockholm syndrome and Hegelian dialectic? I didn't. I looked up Hegelian dialectic, and there's not a simple answer for what it is. But let me just put it in my own words: problem, reaction, solution. There's three stages of a con game or of a chess move to get a desired result from the people. So the same person who comes up with the solution is the same person who came up with the problem in the first place, who created the problem. Let me say that again. The person who comes up with the solution is the same person who came up with the problem. And then you all agree on this person's solution, which is what this person wanted in the first place. But they couldn't just tell you up front, this is what I want. So they come up with this whole thing over here, three stages. For instance, one night you come out, or one morning you come out, and that night somebody went through the neighborhood slashing everybody's tires. Everybody's tires in the neighborhood just went down the block. Okay. So you have to go to work. So everyone has to go to work. So as they're coming out to go to work, someone just passing by and just, wow, what happened here? Oh man, that's gonna cost you $800 or whatever. Oh, and they're mad, right? And so you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be late to work. And then the same person's like, wait a minute, I just thought about it. I have a friend who has tires that'll fit this vehicle, fit all these. And he has a sale going on. Let me call him up. Matter of fact, he can deliver, he can fix it right here on the spot so you won't be late to work. He just so happens to have these sizes. So the person that owned that shop just made himself a lot of money because he's in cahoots with the guy who discovers with everybody else what happened here. Oh, but I have a solution. This other guy I know, he got a shop, a tire shop. You see? Hegelian dialectic. So how do you know when you're brainwashed? Right? If someone is brainwashed and you ask them are they brainwashed, they're gonna say no. They may even say, no, you're the one that's brainwashed. So you go back and forth on who's brainwashed. Now, you do know that there are ways to crack the human brain and program it like a computer. This was found out by the Delta Force a number of years ago. Think of the Jason Bourne movies. You know, how they cracked him and turned him into basically a super soldier. And they basically control him like a computer. I'm going somewhere with this. There was a program called MK Ultra. It's known for the 60s, but it's supposedly had started maybe in the 40s and kept going past the 60s. But there's not a lot of information out that tells what type of information they discover, you know. But we know they learned a lot about the mind and personalities and how to manipulate things. These computer algorithms on the social media sites, yeah, they're using them. They're made to get you addicted. Video games, yeah, they're designed to have a certain result. So now you know that the brain, the body is mechanical, but it's electronic, right? You know, the major things for your body, like your brain and your heart, work off electricity. Sends messages down your spine electronically to all this. You know, the neurons in the brain fire, but the signals are all electronic. You have electricity in your body. Interesting. You have metals in your body, call them minerals. And there are some bad minerals that shouldn't be in there that you should, because they could disrupt things and tear things up. Like mercury is not good for the body, aluminum is not good for the body. So you have to dispel this stuff. You have to detox because it could mess up the firing of your body's electronic. You don't want to short anything out. Your brain works on ELF frequencies. The wavelengths are like alpha, beta, delta, and theta waves. Okay. Alpha, beta, delta, theta. ELF is extremely low frequencies. When I was young growing up, we had UHF and VHF. UHF, ultra high frequencies. VHF, very high frequencies. Doesn't work on the same wavelength as your body does. But your body, your brain, works on ELF, extremely low frequencies, the, the, the wavelengths. Has anyone seen the chemtrails? I'm going somewhere with this. Has anyone seen the chemtrails spraying in the skies? Have you seen the fake clouds and the crisscross patterns and all the little things they do, and then they turn into clouds as you just watch them after a while? Have you ever wondered what's in that stuff? Yeah. There has been people to collect it and test it, send it to labs. Found barium salts and benzene and different kind of um, bacteria and particles, but a lot of aluminum. A lot of aluminum. See, again, I said when I was young, we had UHF and VHF, and you had to get the rabbit ears, the antenna, and it was aluminum. If you break it, you put tinfoil on it to get it back long again. It's aluminum, and that's how you get a signal, and you can see the TV, you can see the show. So now you know that stuff they've been spraying. It's been spraying for years, right? And aluminum is one of those things that's bad for your body, and it's one of those things that's hard to detox. Along with the mercury, it helps create Alzheimer's and a lot of other bad things. It does a lot of bad things to your body. So you want to detox the aluminum. I'm going somewhere with this. Now, 5G, right? Let's speak of technology, cell phones, internet, communications. So we started off with the 1X, 2G, 3G, 4G or LTE. Now they're putting up the 5G towers. It's supposed to have so much power, zero latency. There's no more time lapse between when you're on your phone or FaceTime or Marco Polo, whatever you're doing. If you're speaking to someone or whatever you're doing, there's no time lapse. It's like immediate. It's like you're in the same room with them. There's no echo or no 2 or 3 second delay or minute delay or 5G. Sounds like a good thing, and it could be because so much more electronics are going to come online because of the IoT, Internet of Things. That's where everything is able to be a product online. It's RFID in clothes, shoes, everything is going to have like a lifetime. It's going to be tracked. You can track it on the internet and it'll have a value, which can be paid for with cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. That's where we're going. And that's why they needed the system to be so fast, zero latency, 5G, to process what's going to be going on. The blockchain has so many different copies, it's going to use up so much bandwidth. It needs something fast, 5G. Now, you remember when I told you that the human body works on ELF, extremely low frequencies, the brain, alpha, beta, delta, theta waves? Well, um, e, uh, the 5G also works on ELF, extremely low frequencies. How do you know when you're brainwashed? So the metal, the aluminum that's falling from the sky, from the clouds, that's been spraying for years, is getting in the food supply, the fruits, the vegetables, the animals that we eat. If you eat animals, eat the fruits and the vegetables. If you don't eat the animals, then you eat the fruits and the vegetables. And even those who eat animals eat the fruits and the vegetables. It's getting in the water. All right, it's added to different things. Aluminum. Remember the rabbit ears to get the signal. Now the aluminum is getting in your body and it's hard to detox aluminum. Your body, your brain, the computer for your body is on the same wavelength, ELF, as the 5G. You think it's a possibility that you can be remote controlled? How far do you think they got with the MK Ultra program? I mean, over 10, 20, 30 years or more. Oh, they'll never tell you. Just think Big Pharma, MK Ultra is responsible for trying out LSD and marijuana for mind control. That's why the LSD got out there. A lot of other things that you may not ever find out about. Let's read something. This is Journal of Borderland Research. Effects of 6 to 10 hertz ELF on brain waves. This was David S. Wallenick, Minneapolis, Minnesota, May 1990. They've been knowing about this for a long, long time. Okay. There's evidence that ELF magnetic waves can affect brain waves. This set of experiments was designed to study the effects of ELF rotating magnetic fields on the brain. The specific ELF frequencies I was interested in studying are 6 to 10 hertz. These frequencies are the same as those produced by human brain in the theta and alpha states. Generally, specific brainwave frequency ranges can be associated with mood or thought patterns. Frequencies below 8 hertz are considered theta waves. While these seem to be some of the least understood frequencies, they also seem to be associated with creative, insightful thought. When an artist or scientist has the aha experience, there's a good chance he or she is in theta. Alpha frequencies are from 8 to 12 hertz and are commonly associated with relaxed, meditative states. Most people are in the alpha state during the short time immediately before they fall asleep. Alpha waves are strongest during that twilight state when we're half asleep and half awake. Beta frequencies above 12 hertz coincide with our most awake analytical thinking. If you are solving a math problem, your brain is working at beta frequencies. Most of our waking hours as adults are spent in the beta state. Interesting. Want to read a little more? A question of importance is if we can electronically shift the brainwave frequencies to alpha or theta, will a person's mood or thought patterns change to those commonly associated with those frequencies? In other words, if we can electronically move a person's brain waves to alpha frequencies, will they become more relaxed? Will their state of conscious change to coincide with their brain waves, even if those brain waves were electronically induced? These are important questions with far reaching implications. When I began these experiments, I was well aware of the possible ethical implications involved in ELF research. For example, if I were carrying an ELF transmitter operating at alpha frequencies, would the people around me be affected as well? Would they unconsciously gravitate toward me because they become more relaxed as they moved closer to me? Would they like me more because they felt good when um, when they were around me? What if a salesman were carrying an ELF transmitter? Would people be influenced to buy something because they were more relaxed around the salesman? Could entire populations be influenced to be comfortable with ideas they would normally reject? These and many others are serious ethical consideration involved with ELF research. They cannot be taken lightly. So there's a whole experiment on this. Let's get to the results. Results. Examination of the computer data revealed substantial differences between subjects. Some subjects showed lock on entertainment over a wide frequency range, while other subjects showed no lock on whatsoever. In general, lock on occurred most frequently between 8.6 to 10 hertz, less frequently between 8.6 hertz, below 8.6 hertz. One subject displayed lock on for all frequencies from 7.4 to 10 hertz. Two subjects displayed no lock on over the entire frequency range. While I did not test a sufficient number of subjects to be statistically significant, I suspected that susceptibility to ELF entrainment follows the normal bell shaped curve at this time. I do not have any hypothesis that would allow us to predict who is susceptible and who is not. In other words, there are some people who are susceptible to be electronically controlled, remote controlled. You have this aluminum in you, the antennas. Your body already works on this frequency, and they can transmit it because the 5G waves are stronger than the 4G, the LTE. They're stronger. They're saying that the cancer rate is going to go up because of the radiation you're going to get from 5G. And with the aluminum in you, they make you do the robot. You did. But interesting. So let's look at another article. What is this? It's called HARP, HAARP, ELF Generation and Mass Mind Control by Jim Lee, Saturday, October 11th, 2014. What is this? Climate Viewer News. I guess that's what this is. Okay. And it says, we are the ELF generation. Since birth, we have been inundated by external electrical sources. Most sources of electromagnetic radiation are benign, having little effect on the human body. However, great concern should be given to lower spectrum, as research has shown ULF, ELF, and VLF radio signals can negatively influence your health. Couple that with possible military intentions to control the minds of an unwary populace using low frequency technology, and you get our present conundrum. Extremely low frequency ELF waves. ELF waves up to 100 hertz are once more naturally occurring, but they can also be produced artificially, such as for the Navy's Project Sanguine for submarine communication. ELF waves are not normally noticed by the unaided senses, yet the resonant effect upon the human body has been connected to both psychological disorders and emotional distortion. Infrasound vibration, up to 20 hertz, can subliminally influence brain activity to align itself to delta, theta, alpha, or beta wave patterns, inclining an audience toward everything from alertness to passivity. Infrasound could be used tactically as ELF waves endure for great distance, and it could be used in conjunction with media broadcast as well. Tell me about it. And this is without the aluminums in your body. So this is what we have to be concerned about. Because it doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, Putin just got sworn in for another 6 years. So he's going to be around when the New World Order solidifies, unless he drops dead or is assassinated or somehow thrown out or arrested for some type of corruption or something. He's going to be there. The New World Order is, they said they would be finished by 2018. They're behind schedule. We got somebody that's fighting them and tooth and nail. So Xi Jinping is going to be there. Putin is going to be there. Who are the other players? We can only guess. But these guys have it in writing. Okay. Xi Jinping is, of course, the lifetime president of China now. Putin has just got another 6 years. So what are we? 2018. So that puts us in 2024. They're supposed to be finished by 2021 or 2022. So he'll be there. Maybe the Queen will still be there if she's still alive, or that she's transferred the power to someone else. And this Pope is still pretty new. Maybe he'll still be there if he's still alive. We don't know about Trump. We have elections in 2020. You know, he still has a lot of stuff he's fighting, draining the swamp. They're trying to fight back. So we'll see how that goes, if he wins or not, or but so far these are the people we're looking at. And I have a few people that are in my mind that I know that'll be back on the scene. Let's talk about the pineal gland. The pineal gland is still a mystery to most doctors. In ancient times, they called it the third eye. Why do they call it the pineal gland? Because it's in the middle of the brain. It's a cone shaped like a pine cone, and it has a vein that leads to it. So it has to be very important. It's responsible for secreting all types of chemicals that your body needs, all of your systems. It's responsible for making them function, and it's also supposed to be your spiritual center. It's said that when you pray, the pineal gland vibrates. It's supposed to help you see at night. It has, in the back of your eye, the retina, you have the cones and the rods. The pineal gland has those same things, but it's in the middle of your brain. Yeah, it's in the middle of both hemispheres. So maybe you can see spiritual things. They say when you sleep in the light, you see the lights in your dreams. They say that's your pineal gland at work. It's also said that it produces not only serotonin or melatonin, but melanin. And they say that's responsible. Everyone except for Dr. Seavey. Dr. Seavey says black people are black because of carbon. But everyone else says it's the pineal gland that secretes the melanin, which gives us the darker hue. There's been some new research out. I heard it on the radio. I heard it on Coast to Coast. And I haven't gotten the guy's book yet, but he had done some research on the pineal gland, and he said that everybody's pineal gland is active as a child. And depending on their belief in God, by 14, it could calcify. So if you don't really believe in God, it turns hard as stone, it calcifies. And if you do, it remains soft like tissue. That's believable, especially if you've seen the rice experiment, right? So that's interesting. Because there had been some doctors that had done some studies of dead people in certain races. They found that most of theirs were calcified. So they had figured that theirs were all calcified. Not the case. But I haven't researched it, but that sounds about right. So your beliefs affect your body. What else? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Fatel Gamer. All right. What else? So these are some very, very important things that, because either way it goes, we're going. The New World Order's coming. There will be resistance. Of course, there's going to be resistance. You know, they say the revolution will not be televised. The revolution is being televised right now. You heard Jerome Corsi come out against Q. Yeah, he said it's a lot of disinformation, and then he said it's been compromised. Yeah. So there's a lot of warfare going on right now. So what you have to do, let me get back to what I was saying, because it's electronic warfare. Your body is electronic. Magnets do different things to the body. Different metals do different things to the body. Iron, and this is Dr. Sebi figured this out. Iron attracts the other minerals because it can be magnetized. So it's a pretty good idea. How I was able to heal a lot of people because your body's electronic. Now, you have to detox these aluminums. There's a story in the Bible, we'll get to it later, about the prophet Daniel. And it was something that doesn't really say what issue he was facing, but he prayed. Remember the pineal gland? Okay. He prayed, and he ended up having to fast like for 20 something days. And finally, he was visited by an angel. And the angel told him, Daniel, we'll read it in a minute. I'm just putting it in my own words. The angel told him, Daniel, I heard you. I mean, God heard you the first day you started praying. So your prayer got there, but the answer couldn't come. He said we had to fight. It was that the Prince of Persia was fighting against us, keeping it was something blocking the prayer, the answer to the prayer from coming to Daniel, the Prince of Persia. And Persia is Iran, that territory. So right now, majority of Persia is an Islamic Republic. So that should tell you. But this thing, this entity, I can imagine this thing sitting in Indian style on a floating carpet over the air, trying to block prayers going up and trying to block prayers, answers to the prayers coming down. This is written that this entity, this wasn't the king, this wasn't some man, this was an entity. And for almost a whole month, he blocked the answer to Daniel's prayer. And this angel said he had to call on the strong angel, the archangel, Michael, to come help him fight. Matter of fact, let's read it, shall we? It's going to be Daniel chapter 10. So what I'm saying is there was something back then that the authors wrote about. This was thousands of years ago that was blocking the prayers or blocking the answers from the prayers, from the pineal gland, connecting with the creator who created the universe. And now that 5G is on our level, I think, can they electronically turn off the pineal gland and calcify it? Let me just read this right quick. I'll read the whole thing. It's pretty short. It's only 21 verses. Daniel chapter 10. In the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the 4 and 20th day, and the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which was Hiddekel. I believe that's one of the first 4 rivers. Well, anyway, let me keep going. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, usually when it says that, that's an angel, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face like the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. Uh-oh. That would be Jesus, maybe. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon my palms of my hands, and said unto me, O Daniel, a great, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 1 and 20 days. Below, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the king of Persia. Now, I am come to make thee understand that what shall befall thy people in the latter days. For yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. I'm going to stop right there. I just wanted to get to the part where he said the prince of Persia withstood him for 1 and 20 days, 21 whole days. Uh-oh. I made a boo-boo. Okay, 21 whole days, man. Something was blocking him, right? And so we know his angels chained up in the great river Euphrates. We know his spirits chained up in prison and hell, because the Bible speaks about when Jesus died, he descended into the lower parts and preached to spirits that are in chains. He was the angels that came down in Genesis 6 and in the book of Enoch and, messed up stuff, taught men stuff we shouldn't know, and made all these hybrid animals and had sex with the women and made the Nephilim. Yeah. So a lot of them are in prison right now, right? So they can't stand in the middle of like the king of Persia, Prince of Persia did back then, but or maybe that, maybe it's not as many of them because there's some of them out there. But then this 5G, you know, You can be hacked. You know, I just read the thing. Right. But we have hope. Oh, yeah, we have hope. Because guess what? There's not anywhere in Scripture that says you don't have to go through tribulation. It says the opposite. It says you will have tribulation. So it shouldn't scare you. This is just things to be aware of, to know, because I'm sure you're not hearing this anywhere else, that what times we're in. What's we're there, people. Yes, have faith. So we're there. Now, it does say that we're not reserved for wrath, but the tribulation, we're not reserved for God's wrath. The tribulation is not God's wrath. It's the wrath of the devil. It says he comes down to the earth knowing that he has but little time. It's his wrath. So when God gets ready, that's the seventh seal. If you read that in Revelation, the seventh seal, that's when he sends his angels to gather his people from the four corners of the earth. And then that's when his wrath comes. Yeah. But that's what I want to talk about, because this whole Kanye West thing, man. I watched the whole TMZ video. It's a 1 hour video and it's on YouTube. And he said he had a breakdown. They had him on opiates, and at that time he was only taking 2 a week or something like that. And then they took him to the hospital. And after that, he said he was on 2 pills. And when he came out, he was on 7, like a day. So they upped the dosage. They giving him more drugs. See, in the Bible, the word that's translated as sorcery is pharmakia. That's the Greek word for sorcery. Pharmakia. Pharmaceutical. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So he's right to want to get off the opiates. Why are we still in Afghanistan? Did you know that 90% of the world's quote unquote opiates, heroin, comes from Afghanistan? Why are we there? You ever think about this? You should. I thought we defeated the Taliban or the Al Qaeda, whoever was there. Why are we still there? Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's really what I want to talk about, because who? I don't think Kanye is the one that's brainwashed. I think a lot of the ones that's um, coming at him, they're like the brown shirts. Hitler had that helped him come to power. Hitler Youth, the brown shirts. And if you didn't agree with him or whatever he suggested, his policies, and they'd get violent. They'd beat you up. They'd come to your house and do stuff to you. You better not wear a MAGA hat. They'd take it off your head and beat you up, burn it. Yeah. Don't you see the similarities? Somebody's brainwashed. Yeah. But I'll tell you this. That's good, brother. No pills, no flu shots, no vaccines. Yeah, because they put adjuvants in there. They can cause Guillain-Barré and a whole bunch of other stuff. Uh-huh. So, what we have to do is just be more aware. Because one thing that Hitler did, and not only Hitler, but Castro, and something that's fascist and communist tend to do, socialists, is send out spies among the people. Anybody who doesn't go along with what everybody else is saying. In other words, they eradicate the free thinkers. You know, if you think, oh well, everybody like blue, well, I don't like blue. I like purple, orange, green, whatever. You know, and like, no, you can't like. You have to like what we like. No, you like chocolate ice cream, vanilla. What if I said I like sherbet? Okay, all right, that's me. You know, that's what I like. Can I be? Can I do me? But they'd be like, no, you're a bad guy. You like sherbet. We're gonna do something to you. We're gonna stop that. You gonna like chocolate or vanilla, or you ain't gonna like nothing. Mm. Well, I didn't want this video to be too long. Right. Sherbet is good. Yeah, but I appreciate y'all for joining in. Um, I haven't been. I've been trying to. I mean, this is beyond Babbitt, right? I've been trying to go beyond. I've been trying to do a lot of business, and I've had some breakthroughs. This last week has been like a movie for me. Some of the things I experienced and went through, so it's fun, interesting, exciting, dangerous, kind of, you know. But and I want to do more videos. I want to have more time, but you got to buy your freedom back. You got to have success in business to where you can afford to do it. You know. So I hope this was not just entertaining, but educational as well, and I hope it moves you to do something. Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. All right. Well, anyway, it's Monday. It's Brian Anthony. It's Beyond Babbitt. Over and out.